Quality assurance is integrated into all activities at Multilink. Inspection activities include incoming inspection of purchased and customer-supplied materials, in-process inspection at all points of operation, and final inspection of finished goods. Inspection criteria inputs include customer-specific requests, engineered part drawings, prior corrective action issues, quality workmanship standards, and government regulations as applicable.
Incoming inspection is performed on the receiving dock where all inbound products are inspected to a part-specific set of criteria. The criteria are most commonly specified on engineering drawings that are maintained on the company server, ensuring ease of access for the incoming auditor. The inspector on the receiving dock uses the packing slip and purchase order to verify part number accuracy. Once the information on the paperwork is found to match, the auditor accesses the part drawing on the Multilink server. The auditor verifies the revision level of the drawing matches the revision level on the receiving paperwork. The auditor then checks the part to the specifications of the drawing, also verifying any additional quality checks indicated on the purchase order. Where required, the auditor verifies color match using the daylight simulator and controlled color chips.
Certain parts also require a fit test, particularly the fittings for Multilink Raceway. A quick test fixture is at the inspection station to allow for this fit test. The auditor references the Multilink sampling table for lot size inspection quantities and proceeds to inspect as many random samples as required. Multilink is currently in the process of developing a first article storyboard to allow quick reference to controlled samples in order to limit the possibility of any deviation in product on consecutive production runs.
Once the incoming inspection is completed, the product is identified with quality assurance accepted/rejected identification labels, including lot number, heat number for raw materials, and any other lot-specific information to ensure future traceability as needed. The inspected and tagged product is then turned over to the material handler for further action. The QA identification labels stay with the product until the lot is depleted. Heat numbers for raw materials are documented on the work router by the machine operator.
In-process inspection is performed at each step of the manufacturing process where value is added to product. The criteria are most commonly specified on in-process inspection sheets, which are included in every process router. These inspection sheets are also maintained on the company server for quick accessibility to all employees. The operator at each point of operation receives the work router, which includes work instructions, engineering drawings, and in-process inspection sheets. The operator verifies that revision levels match on all documentation prior to beginning work operations. The operator runs and inspects the first piece to the criteria on the in-process inspection sheet, as well as any special quality instructions listed in the narrations for each work operation on the router. If the product meets the quality requirements, the operator tags the part with a first piece approval tag, then proceeds with the job, inspecting more parts at intervals specified on the in-process inspection sheet.
In addition to the operator checks, the quality assurance floor auditor roves the shop floor, auditing all in-process activity to verify product compliance. Both the operator and the quality auditor sign off on the work router, indicating that inspection activities have been conducted as required. As the product is prepared to be moved to the next point of operation, the product is identified with a last piece approval tag, which includes a quality sign-off. Once the in-process inspection is completed, the product is moved to the next work center, where the next operation is performed and the inspection process is repeated.
Final inspection is performed once all work operations are complete and the product is ready for shipment to the customer. The criteria are most commonly specified on final inspection instruction sheets, which are maintained on the Multilink server to ensure ease of access for the final inspection auditor. The criteria include fit, form, and function requirements, as well as general product quality requirements. Each inspection requirement is numbered and detailed for the auditor to enable a comprehensive product inspection. Following the completion of the final inspection, and as requested by the customer, detailed certificates of compliance are filled out and included with each unit.
All Multilink inspection activity is thoroughly documented, and records are maintained for a 2-year minimum on the Multilink server.
All measuring and test equipment used to verify product and process quality is controlled for accuracy and reliability. All process personnel are responsible for ensuring that their measurement and test equipment have a current gauge calibration sticker and are in good working condition each day at the beginning of the work shift. Any gauges found to be past due for calibration are immediately forfeited to the Quality Assurance Department for calibration. Multilink uses calibration software to track all gauges for calibration due dates and location. The software includes detailed steps for the Quality Department employee to follow in the calibration of each individual gauge. These steps are clearly outlined in a work instruction maintained on the Multilink server specific to each type of gauge.
A set of controlled master standards are maintained in the QA office for reference when calibrating gauges. Furthermore, Multilink has relationships with accredited calibration labs, which are contracted for use where Multilink's internal capabilities are too limited to allow for proper gauge calibration. When a gauge is found to be out of tolerance, the gauge is identified as such and either sent out for repair, scrapped, or use of the gauge is limited. All new gauges introduced to the system are required to be calibrated, as well as any employee-owned gauges used for Multilink product inspections.
Multilink maintains a closed-loop system for reporting, tracking, and resolving product and system quality problems. This ensures that causes of non-conforming product are investigated and effort is made to permanently correct the issue and prevent recurrence. This is the primary vehicle used to contribute to continuous improvement at Multilink. The scope of Multilink's corrective action procedure includes supplier corrective actions, internal corrective actions, and customer corrective actions. The form for addressing the nonconformance issue is the Multilink Corrective and Preventive Action Form. The inputs for the form include non-conformance findings identified internally or by Multilink's customers. Once the problem is identified, the form is initiated. The description of finding is completed by the initiator, whether that is the customer service representative or a Multilink quality auditor. The corrective action is forwarded to the Quality Assurance Supervisor, who reviews the report and forwards it to the appropriate department head as needed. A containment response is due within 24 hours, along with any immediate actions needed to satisfy the customer, and is returned to the QA Supervisor for review. The response is verified by the Quality Department, and the customer is contacted for any follow-up information needed to complete the short-term action required.
15 days from the date of initiation, a long-term corrective action response is due from the supplier, department head, or management-level employee as necessary. The long-term action plan is reviewed by the QA supervisor and other members of the Multilink Material Review Board as needed to determine if the plan satisfactorily addresses the root cause of the nonconformance and is fully implementable. The plan is adjusted as needed and a verification date is assigned to the corrective action. Verification of effective implementation is performed, and if further action is needed or plan has not been implemented, the CAR remains open with an extended follow-up date, and additional resources are applied to aid in resolution if required.
Once the corrective action is implemented and verified effective, it is closed and archived, and the corrective action log is updated accordingly. If the corrective action was initiated by a customer contact, the customer is copied on the implemented corrective action plan. All corrective action documentation is maintained by the Quality Department for a minimum of 2 years.
All Multilink Quality Assurance Department employees are cross-trained on all inspection activities, i.e., in-process auditor can perform final inspection activities, etc.